In the news this week, don't panic. WA calls for calm over the coronavirus, despite Western Australians remaining in China's infectious epicentre.
Crook catastrophe. Police crack down on shoplifting in retail precincts, and officers say it's working.
Tussle for tourists. Government funding boost aims to get domestic dollars as Chinese tourists blocked from travelling.
And rugby's back in WA as Australia faces the Springboks and the All Blacks in a tourism boost.
This is the Evening News with Ivan Lowe and Sarah Smith.
Good evening. Western Australians have been advised not to panic as the coronavirus spreads around the world, with the state government confirming action is being taken to mitigate the outbreak. The government is cooperating with WA's Chinese consulate to contain the virus, but it comes as a number of Western Australians remain in lockdown in China. Reporter Nelson Liu joins us now with exclusive details. Nelson, what can you tell us?
Yes, Ivan. WA authorities are advising Western Australians not to panic as concerns remain over the spread of the coronavirus. The state has been in the grips of worry over potential infection along with the rest of Australia, with as many as 4 people under testing for the virus at the start of the week. Those potential infections were declared negative by Wednesday, but 2 more investigations had risen by the end of the week. The state government says people need to heed warnings to avoid passing on the infection, while WA's Chinese consulate says the situation is under control.
We want to ensure that everyone in the Chinese community, both here and abroad, understand that we are taking measured action to ensure that we protect the WA public. It's not a time for panic. There is no reason for people to be anxious about this outbreak.
And everything is under control. The Chinese government has issued a general ban of group tourists to go abroad.
Currently, Wuhan remains in lockdown to prevent the spread of the virus. We can confirm that at least 6 Chinese Western Australians, including children, are stuck in Hubei Province, with 3 in the provincial capital, Wuhan. The Hubei Association of WA says people are concerned but remain informed.
Our members, family, friends still living there. Of course, we worry about them healthy, but so far at the moment, there's no bad news coming from Hubei, Wuhan.
Now, the Chinese consulate says China hasn't banned flights leaving the country, but the state government says precautions need to be taken to avoid contracting or spreading the virus. It's back to you, Sarah.
Thank you, Nelson. Everyone stays out longer when it's warmer, even thieves. Operation Heat Shield put more police than ever into the Perth CBD to reduce crime, and police officers say it's working. Although businesses have praised the move, the state opposition says that the government should be looking into increasing the number of police, rather than giving them more overtime. Helene Fung reports.
Laurie Logan's Forest Chase souvenir store usually has items shoplifted at least once every day. Attempts to stop thieves have even turned dangerous, with one staff member being threatened with a syringe.
We noticed a person stick an item in their pocket. When we asked for him to give the item back, he put his hand in his pocket and produced a syringe and pointed it towards the staff member. So he felt threatened.
In recent months, Operation Heat Shield has changed all that. A $5 million funding injection meant an increase in police patrols, targeting shoplifting, burglaries and muggings. Since October last year, the boys in blue have caught an extra 187 thieves. Sometimes the crooks even come to them.
Knocked me over off my bike. I managed to grab him. We sort of went down together and didn't go anywhere from there.
Wasn't too much of a tough tussle?
No, it was pretty easy, really.
Constable Feeks says that the increased patrols are making a real difference.
If we weren't doing our patrols as part of that operation, he never would have been caught.
Meanwhile, state opposition says more police officers should be hired to increase presence instead of giving overtime.
Taking them from one area and putting them into the other area just simply shifts the problem.
Helene Fung, WAMN News.
After a year and a half of construction, the Bob Hawke College had its opening ceremony this weekend with its newly completed campus in Subiaco. Distinguished guests attended the ceremony, getting the first look at the cutting-edge world-class technology. More than 250 Year 7 students will walk through the school gate and begin their term on Monday. By February 2025, as the current students get ready to graduate, the school will have a full cohort of Year 7s through to Year 12s. The school's vision was directly enlarged by Park Principal John Burke and is summarised in the motto, "Extraordinary Together."
To this end, the possibilities are endless for our students, their families and the community of Subiaco. Our vision is for students, parents and staff to feel a strong sense of belonging to the college and to create an environment where we're an integral and valued part of the community.
The state government has begun a $2.85 million tourism tussle, attempting to lure eastern states visitors back to WA. Industry leaders say that international misinformation about fires and the coronavirus were leading to cancellations among prospective overseas holidaymakers. The funding injection will be used in domestic markets to make up for the loss in international tourism.
That we can reach into, encourage people from across Australia to come to Western Australia for their holidays to make up for the difference in these challenges in the international market. And we're particularly reaching out to Western Australians. We want to encourage Western Australians to travel here in Western Australia this year, make the best of our marvellous state.
Rugby union will be back in WA with two powerhouse nations set to face Australia at Optus Stadium. The state will welcome South Africa and New Zealand over the next 2 years, with Springbok facing the Wallabies this year and the All Blacks in 2021. The matches are expected to draw big crowds from across the country, contributing to WA tourism.
You know, you'd love the Wallabies to come here and start making this a fortress for them. You know, they've got that opportunity. They've started off really, really well with their first game, a couple of big games to come, and with the support that the Western Australian crowds tend to lend to these matches, you know, that should be their aim.
The United Kingdom is officially out of the European Union after British Prime Minister Boris Johnson won a thumping majority for the Conservative government in December. Britain officially broke free from the Union at 11 p.m. Friday Brussels time, after 43 months of backflipping, disputes, deals, extensions and arguments. British MPs in the European Parliament have made their final speeches. Some expressed triumph, others stating their dismay and regret. Donald Trump's proposed Israel peace plan has been received with little enthusiasm by Palestinian leaders this week. The plan included a long list of measures in line with Israeli interests, including the recognition of Jerusalem as the capital of Israel and the legalization of Israeli settlements in the West Bank. Some commentators have noted that the timing of the announcement of the plan seems a convenient distraction for both President Trump and Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu.
The annual Chinese New Year celebrations has hit the streets of Perth today with food stalls, lion and dragon dance, along with major performances successfully attracting thousands of citizens. This year is special because the Year of Rat not only marked the beginning of a new decade, but the start of the Chinese zodiac cycle. The Chonghua Association WA president expressed his delight over the event's popularity.
There's quite a group of people, lots of people come to celebrate Chinese New Year. And you can see in Cultural Center and then on James Street are many people. Chinese New Year is the most important festival in Chinese community. This is why we celebrate.
Before we go, let's recap our main news again. WAMN News can exclusively confirm that at least 6 Western Australian Chinese are trapped in Hubei Province, the epicentre of the coronavirus outbreak in China. It's understood that 1 adult and 2 children are in the province, while 2 adults and 1 child are in the provincial capital Wuhan. The Hubei Association of Western Australia has confirmed that they are in the province for Chinese New Year celebrations. And that's our weekly news and current affairs for this week. We have the latest news on our website and social media page.
Until next Sunday after 8 p.m, thank you for watching. Have a pleasant evening.
Good night.